in the city of Philly, where the birds take flight. Eagles swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Markus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the broad street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Flying guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Markus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soars in the sky. Tone and Markus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Wingspan wide, catching all the vibes. Breaking down the huddles, catching all the tides. Every storm they face, never taking sides. Eagle vision clear with pride that never hides. Cheering loud in the vet, the links where they roam. From past legends to the young, calling it home. Weekly updates, buzzing like a drone. Deep dives and highlights of the unknown. Fly like an eagle soars in the sky. Tone and Markus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soars in the sky. Tone and Markus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
Yeah. You guys know what the vibes is. This is your boy Tone Deshields II, joined by Coach Markus of Pro Fan Talk. You guys are locked in on your early edition of the Eagles pregame show. We know we got a late game, y'all, and I know we're gonna be sitting on pins and needles. We had a mini bye, right? We had a Thursday night football game last weekend. We've been sitting on ice for a long time, watching everybody get it in on the football field, and we're back, y'all. It's game day. But we still got to be patient. Eagles, Rams. Eagles 8-2, Rams 5-5, still contending for their division. The Philadelphia Eagles have the upper hand in their division. So both teams have a lot to play for. Eagles try to keep pace. Rams try to supplant Seattle, try to supplant the Cardinals. It's a lot going on right now. Week 12, we're in the thick of it, Markus.
We are in the thick of it, but the only thing we can control is what's going on with us. That's it. That's as far as it goes, but it is nice to look up and see everybody else scrambling to catch us. That's where you want to be. Little concern with the Knicks and the injuries and stuff like that, but we still got a lot of football to play, so we are literally in the dead center of the season. So we still got a measure of time before we get to the end of it. So we got some time to heal up. Hopefully we can have another clean game. Get Devontae Smith back next week, and we will be okay without him today. But, you know what I like to say, man, it's not always the best team that makes it deep in the playoffs. It's the healthiest team. So we'll see how we do today. We got, Big Jordan Mailata, his second game back from his injury. He looked good last week. You mentioned that 10-day rest. I think they came at a good spot. And I think we're ready to go. I think we'll handle business today.
You said something earlier, and it made me think of the whole idea of just taking it one game at a time, especially at this point in the season, right? It's so easy to look ahead when you are in a position like the Philadelphia Eagles are, right? You're 8-2, you're second in the conference, right on the heels of the Detroit Lions, a team that you may likely be on a collision course with. Those two teams, Eagles and Lions, that is, are clearly the class of the NFC. I believe they're tier 1. And then everybody else, you can make an argument about tier 2, tier 3, whatever it may be. But speak on the difficulty of trying to focus on an opponent like the Rams when you're trying to chase a ghost that is the Detroit Lions.
Let me say it like this from the locker room perspective.
Okay.
And this really comes down to coaching and how your coaching is steering the ship. Any good coach worth their salt will not let their team look ahead. You got to concentrate to what's in front of you. Point, period, in the paragraph. I've seen that happen before. I've been a part of that before, like in college, where you just kind of go down games. At the time, Eastern Kentucky was We was the best team in the OVC. We was always in the playoffs. So we would go down. Yep. We're going to beat them. We're going to beat them. You still got to play. You can't do that, especially in the NFL. I don't care if you're going against somebody like New York right now or somebody like the Jets right now. You never know when they can sneak up behind you and hurt your feelings. Look at what happened to Colorado. Colorado just gets blasted by a 4-6 team, Kansas Jayhawks last night. So you always have to be ready for the task at hand. You cannot look ahead. We are, in my opinion, we are not that good of a team where you could do that, where you can just look ahead to anybody. Because for some reason, and you can look through the years, this pans out. All of those teams that we're supposed to be so much better than, they always give us a tough game. And sometimes we catch L's like that. So I never like looking ahead. We got to concentrate to what's in front of us, deal with that, and then go to the next part of it. I think I put out a tweet yesterday. I was responding to somebody who was asking the question, like, are the Eagles really Super Bowl bound? And I'm like, let's pump your brakes. Are we playoff bound? Absolutely. I don't want to think about the Super Bowl until we solidify the fact that we are in the playoffs. And then once you get there, you got to take a look at your team. Who's healthy? Who's not? How is everybody playing? And then you look at everybody else and who you might face up against, and you got to ask them same questions.
It's interesting. I think about the Philadelphia Eagles in this context, and this is me being an objective fan, right? You know, I think that's the challenge for me that I always have, where I try to balance my objectivity with my fandom. I've been a Philadelphia fan since 1994, since the day I came out the womb, since the day my dad held me. He said, "You are an Eagles fan, young brother." And
you was born in 94?
Yeah, man, 94, yeah. I was born in 94,
bro.
man.
I graduated college in 93, bro. You're killing me right now.
Hey, listen, man, you're only as old as you feel. You're only as young as you feel, right? I know a lot of young people who are aging themselves right now, not taking care of themselves. And I know some older people who are doing beautiful things, keeping themselves young and spry. But, you know, this Eagles team, you're right. The bottom line is you don't want to look ahead. You don't want to just outright say, hey, they are Super Bowl bound. I think what I feel comfortable saying, though, is that they have all the ingredients necessary to produce that Super Bowl winning dish. Does that make sense? I believe Absolutely. They have the tools in the toolbox to create that Super Bowl level structure.
Without a doubt.
Now it's all about getting there healthy, taking care of business, focusing on what's in front of you, not what's next to you or behind you or whatever it may be. Not even trying to look past the thing in front of you, just trying to focus on that path one step forward, man. And when you have the Rams, a team that, sure, they're 5-5, but they're, in my opinion, they're a dangerous 5-5. I look at a guy in Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, and I think about what Sean McVay is able to do with those guys in their unique alignments. I think that's going to pose a challenge for the Philadelphia Eagles. But I believe the Philadelphia Eagles, the way they play defensively, puts them in a position to be able to handle that challenge. What stands out to you when it comes to the Los Angeles Rams offense and what they do?
You're looking at Matthew Stafford. He's one of those quarterbacks that can pick you apart. You already know what Puka Nacua can do. You know what Cooper Kupp can do. Those are guys that just seem to get it done. But Matthew Stafford is the guy that can sit back there and pick you apart. He's that good. He's got that type of pedigree. So that is the thing that you worry about with Stafford. He don't have to run around because he's at that level where he can sit back there and do what he's got to do. Yes, he's going to try to escape and get out of the pocket every now and then when he has to. But you already know that he's not the type of quarterback. That's not what he's trying to do. He's trying to stay in there and just deliver the ball on time and on target. And that's the strength of what he does. That's why he's lasted so long and been to where he's been to. So that is the thing. And again, I'm always going to go back and reference that Tampa Bay game because nobody expected that from Baker Mayfield, and he lit us up. And everybody that we played, they're taking some piece of that. And Matthew Stafford is somebody that can take advantage of something like that because he can sit back there and get rid of the ball super quick. And Cooper Kupp is not going to necessarily beat you deep, but he can hit you with a quick slant. He's a great route runner. Same thing with both of them, Kupp and Nakua. So they're not. I don't see Nakua as somebody that's going to run past Quignon or Cooper DeJean back there. But you talking about smart receivers that know where they have to go. They know where the sticks are. They always seem to do the right thing in the right spots. And everybody doesn't do that. You watch enough football and you're like, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you make that catch? Things happen. But these guys are very reliable in that sense. They're going to do the right thing. They're going to take that route the extra yard so they can make sure they get the first down and secure the catch. Things of that nature. You're not worried about that with them. So we got to play sound defensive football. And quite honestly, this is going to be another test for Quignon and Cooper because they got two top-notch receivers. But it all goes back to just like I said last week, as long as our defense continues to do what they've been doing, we should be good.
So this is the kind of game that more than anything will challenge not necessarily the athletic ability of these players, but more so their technique, their fundamentals, their attention to detail. And that begs the question for me, right, when it comes to the Vic Fangio, Sean McVay matchup. When you think about that, and they do have history, they do have an infamous matchup that's on record. Break down how you anticipate Vic Fangio trying to offset what Sean McVay does.
That's going to be the chess match right there. And honestly, I think that we're going to look at probably the first 2 to 3 series. Probably say the first 2 series each way. And then you're going to look back on what you saw on film. Then you're going to look back on what they're doing on the field. And what game was that this year? Wasn't there a game this year where somebody was like, they show everything they showed in the game, they never showed on film. So I'm thinking it might be a situation like that, and that's part of the chess game. You're coming out with new formations and new shifts, but you're still running the same plays, and it's just about Vic Fangio deciphering it. And when it comes to situations like that, to me, that's where it comes down to the fundamentals. I don't care what route you're running. If you got somebody in the zone to defend it, that's what you want. So regardless of what bells and whistles you're trying to figure out, if you got somebody coming across the middle and we don't have a linebacker guarding that zone, guess who's going to be open? If you got a linebacker guarding the zone with the flats, guess who's going to be open in a deep corner or a deep out? So that's the chess match, and you got to see it. So you're going to look Vic is probably going to hire some coverages. I can see him doing a lot of stunts. And I think this is going to be another good game for Nolan Smith coming off the edge.
Ooh, why Nolan Smith? And also, by the way, for the record, the Eagles will be without Bryce Huff. He's been placed on IR. He's gotten a wrist surgery, and he'll be back likely after the next 4 to 5 weeks. Devontae Smith is out. We talked about that as well. But why Nolan Smith? Why does Nolan Smith stand out to you in this game in particular? Why not Josh Sweat? Why not BG or whoever?
They do, but I always look at Nolan Smith because he's just that fast. Speed always kills.
And they are dealing with tackle issues right now. They were dealing with injuries on that O-line, and they're really not they're not the most stout in the interior as well.
Right. And what's the saying? Strength punishes, speed kills. Right. So you could be even Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson. You get somebody that blows by them. Mm-hmm. Their experience, that it does nothing for you. You're gonna come across some people like that. I think Nolan Smith is getting to that point where I think he's made up for, and you've heard me mention this before, his battle with physics. Physics says if you 230 pounds going up against somebody that's 330 pounds,
you should lose.
Strength to strength, you should lose. However, if you fast enough to get around him before he can put hands on you, that gives you the advantage. And the way Nolan Smith has been playing lately, and we talked about this earlier. I think we talked about this preseason about Nolan Smith doesn't have to make the play to make the play.
Mm-hmm.
But You got to switch that a little bit, because now I can apply that logic to Jalen Carter, because now somebody's got to double Jalen Carter. He's bringing that type of noise right now. So that means if you got to double him, that means somebody's free somewhere else. There's a blocker or something that is not getting the attention that they deserve because you have to double team somebody. That's the benefit of having somebody like Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter in the interior of the line. Somebody that as big as Jordan Davis, but as strong as and impactful as Jalen Carter. You got to pay him attention. You got to game plan him. So that means something else down the line has got to free up, because you got to. This is exactly what I mean when you say you got to pick your poison. So Jalen Carter is the type of player where you going up against Pro Bowl level centers, guards, and tackles, and they got to double team them. You can't play you one-on-one. So that means somebody, the edge, the tackle, Sweat, Milt Williams, somebody else has got to eat, because they're not paying you enough attention. They putting all their energy in one spot. So that means you're going to have a chink in the armor somewhere down the line. And I think that's where Nolan Smith comes into play. And like I said before, Matthew Stafford, not the fastest guy in the world. So that leans to his expertise getting around that corner.
Let's get to the tail of the tape a little bit, right, when it comes to the Rams. So we're talking about their offense versus this Eagles defense. And the Rams offense right now, they're averaging 21.3 points per game. That's 21st in the league. That's below the mediocre line. As far as yards per game, 336 yards per game. That's 17th in the league, right there at the middle mark for the league. Their third down conversion rate, 33.9%, one of the worst in the league at 27th. And their fourth down conversion rate on offense, 57.1%, 17th in the league. Also, they average about 5.4 yards per play, which is 17th in the league as well. The red zone offense, 25th in the league at 50%. It seems like this Rams offense, despite all the talent that they do have in Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and guys like that, and Sean McVay, as a matter of fact, right? Despite all of those pieces that should work, they've struggled to have a top 10 offense, or even a consistent offense, or even an offense that's capable of putting up points on a regular basis. Why do you think that is? What do you think the limitations are when it comes to this Rams offense? Because we've talked about their strengths and what the Eagles have to game plan for, and how complex Sean McVay's alignments and formations can be. But why haven't they been able to really sustain this type of success? The things that we notice about them.
That's the $1 million question. I can't answer that, because every team is going to have a different game plan. Everybody's taking just bits and pieces of what they've seen previously. And it seems like they may have gotten, somebody may have put out the blueprint on them to figure out how to slow them down.
Are you saying the league gets caught up with Sean McVay?
Absolutely. You only get a certain amount of time to have that advantage. And eventually you get more and more film and more situations where it's like, okay, I'm used to seeing this. Now I know what it's like. You look at the last 2 years with San Francisco. Now everybody's kind of caught up with them, because they know, okay, all we got to do is figure out how to stop Christian McCaffrey. Purdy's going to do what he does, but is he going to win you a game? We haven't figured that out yet. And then you saw what happened when Debo was out, and they get injuries, and the Rams get injuries, and Baltimore, and every team gets injuries. Mm-hmm. And you don't expect it, but you got to deal with it, and you see the result of it. You look at what the Chiefs are going through right now. You know what I mean? They've kind of limped through, and they caught their first L the other day, from Buffalo. But Buffalo doesn't necessarily look great all the time. It's just, Josh Allen made some hella plays in crunch time, and that's how they win. It's always funny, because I always make the joke, Josh Allen won the same way Jalen Hurts wins, except they don't take down Josh Allen for the same things. He threw bad passes. He threw a bad pick. He missed wide receivers. And at the end of the game, he won with his legs. He won with his legs. What's the problem? Because at the end of the day, you get the dub. And we in the same boat. But to the point, You get enough film on somebody, and then you get it. And then you start applying that, and then they got to think of something new. The freshness is kind of worn off. What did Eddie Murphy say? You when you get hungry and somebody give you a cracker, that's a great cracker. But if you eat that same cracker, you keep eating that same cracker, you get done with it. So you got to keep it fresh. And Sean McVay is a phenomenal coach.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a whole bunch of other phenomenal coaches studying what he's done to beat him. Because when you at the top of your game, everybody's coming for you. And he got a Super Bowl, right?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
So everybody's coming for you. And your best player retired. You got to make up for that difference. Them some shoes you can't fill.
Yeah.
Who put
that's
the work in for Aaron
That's defense. That's defense though. Again, right? One of our viewers here, Caleb Throws Disc, he mentioned how, they've been battling injury all year, in particular with their number 1 and number 2 receiver in Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. But this has been a 2-year thing, right? Yeah. Especially with Cooper Kupp, right? At what point do we look at this? At what point do we look at the Rams and say, okay, look, everybody's dealing with injury. Like, figure it out.
Right. Yep. The problem is
I can't look at that as an excuse when my quarterback in Jalen Hurts doesn't get the same grace.
Exactly. But the reasons and how you deal with it are the same. We say, what do we always say if somebody get hurt? Next man up.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, who's that next man? If that next man is not up to snuff to your number 1, that's a problem. That is what most teams deal with. That right there. So somebody gets nicked up, somebody's get injured. We just happen to be in a pretty decent situation. So if AJ Brown, we still got Devontae. If it's Devontae that goes down, we still got AJ. You know what I mean? So if we got a stacked room, but not necessarily in the Rams case. Who's Puka Nacua's backup? I don't know offhand. Devontae goes down. Britton Covey comes back. Britton Covey was playing pretty well before he got injured.
Yeah, the thing about Britton Covey, he tends to catch everything that comes his way. Now, whatever happens afterwards, that's debate. That's up for debate. but he always tends to catch everything that comes his way.
Who he's going to turn into?
Say it again?
Cooper Kupp. You know who Britton Covey's going to turn into? Cooper Kupp.
What do you mean? Hold on. What do you mean by that?
Think about it. He's a good receiver.
That's a bold statement, brother.
Absolutely. He's a good receiver. He's reliable. He's a smart player. He's not the fastest. He's not the strongest. He's not the biggest. All of that stuff. All he is he's one of those guys, or he's becoming one of those guys. If you put him in there, he's going to do what he's supposed to do. He knows what to do. If it's a hot route, he knows what to do. He's one of those guys where you're not worried about. What? He's going to play well this year. Next year is going to be Britton Covey's breakout year. But he's turning into Cooper Kupp. The same thing. But just like I said earlier, are you worried about Cooper Kupp beating you over the top? You worried about Cooper Kupp?
I'm more so worried about I'm more about Cooper Kupp in the intermediate.
Exactly. The smart stuff. He knows if he running the option, when to curl it up, when to run the out, when to run the in, when to run the dig. He knows all of that stuff.
He's very intelligent receiver.
And
very intelligent.
And this is one of the benefits of the Rams offense. Him and Stafford, they got that unspoken communication. Each one knows what the other is doing. That's when you got that sync. Very similar to what Jalen and AJ do. If Jalen's scrambling around, he knows how to throw that deep ball, or he knows how to put it in the corner where only AJ or Devontae can get to it. How many times have we seen that situation?
Okay.
So he's got it like that. And that's part of the benefit of the Rams right now. But we got some good guys on defense too. We got some young guns on defense too that can match that up. So that's going to be the chess match. And I think in this particular situation with the Rams, I think we come out with the better end of that deal.
Another thing that stands out to me about this Rams offense, right, moving on from their passing game, is their lack of a run game. I mean, Their rush play percentage is 40%, which is 26th in the league. Yards per rush, 3.8 yards per attempt, 30th in the league. Rushing yards per game, only 95.4, 26th in the league. Rushing TDs per game, less than 1, which is 0.8 to be exact, 17th in the league. This team, even though Kyron Williams is a talented player, this team has no running game. They have no consistent running game. And they tend to abandon it quickly if they can't get it going, especially. So I feel like this game is playing right into the strength of the Eagles defense, their secondary.
Exactly. Because now you're pigeonholed. Now it's like we already know you can't run. We've got a good run defense. So now I'm putting the onus squarely on Matthew Stafford. So now he's got to drop back. So, okay, our secondary has been playing well. Now we're expecting it. Now, not so much on the linebackers, because the linebackers, the threat of the run, it still exists, but you're not worried about it. You're not concerned about it. You don't think that the Rams are going to beat you on the ground. So you can relax, and then what do you worry about? Okay, you worry about everything behind you. So until, and this is just me in my head thinking of what Vic Fangio could do, until the Rams show me that they have the capabilities to really hurt us in the run game, I want to put a little bit more emphasis on what's going on behind me. We're going to be in zones. Am I going to let the DBs go man-to-man a little bit more? So you got to, Stafford can't have them timing routes. He got to sit back in the pocket a little bit longer. And when you sit back there a little bit longer, okay, now we go back to and revisit that speed on the edge with Nolan Smith, the pressure's coming through the middle with Jalen Carter, all of that type of stuff. So it's the chess match, but one wrong move starts that domino effect that they got to worry about because they don't have a running game. That's one less thing that we have to worry about. Rams defense can't do that. Jalen can run. Saquon can run. Now you got to stop Dallas Goedert. Then you got to stop A.J. Brown. So they got a lot of things to worry about as on our offense. We don't have as much to worry about on theirs. Yes, Cooper Kupp can burn you. Yes, Puka Nacua can burn you. But as our secondary has shown in the last, 4 or 5 weeks, they are up to the task.
So let's get to the Eagles offense, right? Let's get to that Rams defense. We've been studying this Eagles team all year. We know who they are offensively. We know how talented they are. Obviously, they're going to be without Devontae Smith in this game. But you did get Jordan Mailata back last week, who came back like he never left. He was one of the highest graded guys in terms of pass blocking, I believe.
Only gave up one pressure.
Exactly. And this is going to be a very interesting game because now Jahan Dotson is elevated. And we've never really seen this combination before, A.J. Brown, Jahan Dotson, and Britton Covey. We've seen games with Devontae Smith in various combinations, but with the receiver core. But I believe this is only be the second or third game where AJ's played without Devontae. And I'm really curious to see what Jahan Dotson does with this situation. I believe we've been trying to scrape in Jahan Dotson in the game plan. He's had moments, right? That Cowboys game with that beautiful back shoulder pass from Jalen Hurts, and the level of body control and the technique that Jahan Dotson displayed in that situation, it looked almost effortless. They've tried to get him involved in these unique ways, but now they have no choice but to really lean on him and trust him. And I believe Jalen Hurts' trust level has begun to grow in Dotson. I know Hurts trusts Britton Covey, but break down your perspective on these role players, right, who has to come in Devontae Smith's stead.
You know what? I never thought about that lineup until you said it. A.J. Brown, Britton Covey, Jahan Dotson.
And Johnny Wilson, right? Johnny Wilson as well.
Johnny Wilson, yeah. I mean, and I like that rookie. I just like for his size, man. Anybody that big, I'm like, throw the ball in the air and let him go up and dunk with 2 hands. That's what I want to see him do.
Yeah, honestly, with him, his technique is just get your technique right, brother. You good.
Yeah. But I will push back just a bit. I think that he has lost a little confidence in Jahan Dotson because of that drop. in the Commanders game.
The quick slant, right? Yeah.
Yes.
It's a good point. It's a good point. That's a good
Hits him
point.
dead in the hands.
I overlooked that. That was a good point.
That would have moved the chains a little bit. And I was like, you can't drop that. You can't drop that. So, yeah. But he will get other opportunities because at the end of the day, just like I said earlier, is next man up. So you got to go to him. So you got to deal with it.
And you got to have short-term memory. Jalen Hurts,
absolutely.
Yes, he dropped it, but listen, next play.
And we don't want to be in that same situation that I was just talking about with the Rams. The Rams got no run game, so we can be pigeonholed too. Jalen doesn't want to throw to anybody but A.J. Brown. We've heard that before. So what do? You're going to rotate coverage to put a couple, make that zone heavy on A.J.'s side, make him really work to get his targets. So does that pigeonhole you? It depends on how A.J. Brown responds. It depends on where Jalen Hurts puts the ball. And the few targets that Jahan and Britton Covey that are, when they get them, are they going to make the most of it? Are they going to take advantage of those opportunities? And then not for nothing, Dallas Goedert, bro, you one of the best tight ends in the game until you have the ball in your hands. And I don't know what the hell you're going to do. Hold on to the ball.
Yeah, that was
Stop
strange.
Trying to stiff arm everybody.
That fumble was strange.
It was a great play, but I saw it coming the way he was running with the ball.
I did too. I was very uncomfortable with the way he was running. I was very uncomfortable watching him. I in my mind, I was like, yo, just go out of bounds, go down, whatever it is.
Listen, you can, when you watch film, you know which players hold the ball like that. So defenses know if this guy gets the ball and he's breaking away, you got an opportunity to knock it out. You watch film specifically on that. Why you think they got all this film in 4K and 8K? You think the NFL teams don't be filming at 8K where you can zoom it in like super tight? And you can, I'm talking about to the point where you can see how they grip the ball. Are they wearing gloves? Are they not wearing gloves? How do they hold the ball when it's cold outside? Do they do it like that on turf as opposed to grass? All those different things. So, and I'm saying all that to say they know that when Dallas Goedert gets the ball in open field, he holds the ball loose. They know how Saquon Barkley holds the ball. They know that sometimes Jalen Hurts holds the ball with two hands, but when he's breaking out of the pocket, he'll drop one and hold it like a loaf of bread because he's trying to get up out of there and he still wants to pass the ball. Everybody studies that stuff. That's why they swat the ball all the time. That's how Micah Parsons caused that fumble the other week. So just things that you got to look for, and you look at in film study, and you waiting for your opportunity. That's all you waiting for.
You mentioned Dallas Goedert. This could be a game where he is able to take advantage. I believe the Rams struggled defending tight ends. I believe they're one of the worst teams in terms of defending the tight end. Yes, we've acknowledged Dallas Goedert, the flaw in terms of, ball security, right? I don't really see him fumble often, but how do you see the Eagles trying to utilize him in this game? Again, no Devontae Smith. So the pecking order has changed. A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Jahan Dotson or Covey, insert whatever name, right? Just give me your perspective on just how Dallas Goedert can either take over this game or influence the outcome of this game.
Because he's always he can win the mismatches with linebackers first. And like I was mentioning before, all of the focus is most likely going to be on A.J. Brown. And you use that to your advantage, put him in there as a decoy going across the middle or whatever, because whenever A.J. Brown goes across the middle, look at his track record. When he catches the ball across the middle, his yak yards are ridiculous, right? The Rams know that. So if A.J. Brown is coming in motion or going across the middle or lined up, wherever he's lined up, they know what he has the potential to do. Coming across that middle, that's where the focus is going to be. You slip Dallas Goedert underneath, you get him to the second level on the outs towards the sideline, which is where Jalen Hurts usually hits him. Right behind, if they playing in some type of zone and you got those linebackers or those DBs in the front flats, they usually somehow figure out a way to get him to that second level, that 10 to 20 yard in that zone, and Jalen Hurts usually hits him close to the sideline. So the domino effect again. You got to pick your poison. If you're going to concentrate on A.J. Brown, okay, Dallas Goedert is coming. I can see Britton Covey with some short passes, possibly some screens. So, and I'm saying that because he's done it before. They haven't seen much of it on film. So that's an opportunity we can take advantage of.
Let's look at the Rams and what they're doing on defense currently, right? They're allowing opposing offenses to score 23.9 points per game. That's 22nd in the league, not good at all. Opposing yards per game, 350, 23rd in the league. Opposing yards per play, 5.6 yards. That's 25th in the league. Opposing third down conversion rate, 37.9%, 16th. So they're mediocre. They're league average right there. Opponent fourth down conversion, 83%. They're the worst team. They're the worst defense in the league in terms of defending on fourth down. And their opponent's red zone scoring percentage, their opposing red zone scoring percentage as far as touchdowns goes, 50%, 10th in the league. So their red zone defense is the highlight of that side of the ball. Fourth down defense, abysmal. Third down defense, mediocre. Speak on the level of discipline required when you see these type of metrics, right? Knowing they're very susceptible on fourth down. Speak on the discipline that's going to be required in this game by Nick Sirianni to not get too big for his bridges.
Let's just hope that he continues to do what he's done in the last 2 weeks and doesn't do nothing stupid.
He's been clean. He's been very clean the past couple weeks.
And I want to leave it at that. And you know, it comes to me. It always comes down to the same thing. Is your offensive line winning the line of scrimmage? If they are, run behind them. That's simple. We don't. I wish they would switch up a little bit. I would like to see run pass run, and then whatever happens on third and fourth down. If you do what you're supposed to do on first, second, and third, then it's run pass run repeat. But what I've seen is pass, run, pass, and then when they run on that second down, they always try to go up the middle first. And it's like, why are you doing that?
Yeah,
you see what Saquon can do behind the tackles. Keep them behind the tackles. Spread the defense out first. And plus, Lane Johnson is arguably the best in the business. He's the best in the business. So go outside to in this particular case. Because you look at all of the, I don't know if you saw my live stream last week. I was like going off because they kept trying to force it inside. And
you've been talking about this for several weeks, Coach. You've been talking about it for several weeks, and your most talented offensive linemen are on the edge, on the outskirts, right? And your most athletic guys, right? And we've seen what Saquon is able to do when he's able to get in space, where he's able to really diagnose and just pick that hole he wants. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, you saw it. One of the perfect examples of that was in that Commanders game where he scored off of that.
It was a cutback.
It was a cutback route. Yeah. It was a
pitch right. It was a pitch right cutback.
And Cam Jurgens
got off tackle.
Cam Jurgens got to the second level and destroyed the safety. But you saw Lane Johnson and those guys just create so much leeway for him. It was the Red Sea. It was I-95. All he had to do was just go straight.
Right, but look at the logic of it, right? And you think about what a linebacker is supposed to do, right? When they see a pitch and somebody like Saquon Barkley or Christian McCaffrey or Nick Chubb, they're going that way. Linebackers are not coming up the field. They got to flow because they got to prevent him from getting outside. That's the catch right there. You have no choice. You got to fly your ass over to the other side of the field. That sets up the cutbacks. And you saw that one play. It was the second touchdown Saquon Barkley had. It was a pitch right. Everybody flowed, and he just simply cut it back. The lane opened itself. Good running backs will see that. That's how you stretch a defense out. Basically, it's like an Aikido move. You use their momentum against them. They don't have a choice. So now the running back has the choice. When you get the ball outside, you got the regular pitch, and then you got the skinny pitch. They both do the same exact thing. It's just your point of entry is different, but they both do the exact same thing. The minute a linebacker or the defense sees that ball in the air from a pitch, they gone. And any good running back worth their salt, Saquon is not going full speed at the snap.
Right.
He's going a measured pace. When he gets the ball in his hands, immediately he sees where he's supposed to go. That's why I say he's in the zone right now. He is seeing everything.
Everything. He's seeing
so
everything.
what you do is you give him plenty to see.
Hold
and
on,
when
Coach.
You stretch,
stop right there, because you said something that just kind of gave me a little bit of reaction, right? That he's in a zone and he's seeing everything. I know I ask you this almost every week, but there's some people who may not hear this. You played the running back position most of your life. Like you grew up playing a run. You are a running back. You feel what I'm saying? And you studied this game. You've made it. You played on every level of this game. College, high school, college, the NFL. Break down what's going through a running back's mind when he is in the zone like that. Because I'm always trying to see. I'm always more obsessed with the IQ of the game, the intellect of the game, the mindset required to play the game and be great at the game. When you're a running back that's seeing, like you say, everything, as if like it's like when Neo finally was able to see the code in the Matrix.
Exactly.
He sees everything. He's able to manipulate the world that is the Matrix in any way that he wants. Break down what Saquon is seeing. How is he seeing everything? What's going through a running back's mind when you're in that flow state and can't be stopped?
I always use that term about him being in the Matrix. But a better example, you ever seen Terminator 2?
Hell yeah, baby. The best one.
You know the beginning, the bar scene.
Yes.
So
Walked
Arnold
in, seeing everything, diagnosing everything, sizing everybody up.
Exactly. He's scanning everything. He knows what size. He knows where everybody's moving. That's the best way I can explain it. You got all this information going through your head, and then you see it. That's the only way I can explain it. You see it, but while it's happening,
it can't be that simple, Coach. It can't be that simple. It's
I'm telling you.
It has to be some kind of science, some kind of trait, something that's so unique that can't be measured.
You get so used to it, and you just get in you get in that zone, man. It's hard to explain. It's like,
think about your best game. Think about your best game ever in your career. What were you feeling internally in your mind?
The best game of my career was my redshirt freshman year. I had 300 yards against Marshall, 37 carries, and I remember one of my offensive linemen, my homeboy Mark Mitchell, rest in peace, Big Mark. He told me, he said, just follow me. And that's what I did. And we went off tackle almost every play. He just said, follow me. 8 yards, 12 yards, 16 yards, 8 yards, 7 yards. And then eventually I broke like a 30, 40 yard or whatever. But when it was all said and done, I ended up with 300 yards that night. A better example was when I broke the all-time leading rushing record for 1AA. We played Moorhead State. And I took a pitch. We called it a 9 pitch. You going left, wide 9. I get a pitch left. As soon as I get the ball in my hands, I cut it all the way back to the right because everybody was flying to the left because they watched film too. They knew where I was going. And a lane opened up and I cut it hard back to the right. It ended up, we on the left hash. It's a pitch left to the short side of the field. I cut it back and I end up getting all the way to the right cone. I didn't score. I ended up getting down to the 1 yard line, and the ref told me I stepped out of bounds. I couldn't reach it over the flag in the corner. But I went from the left to the right. How did I see that? I saw it as soon as it happened. And that's the only thing I can explain to you is just when you see it, you see it. I can't explain it. It just is. You see stuff. Everything is happening in slow motion, and you get it immediately. That's what being in the zone is. Being in the zone is like.
I want to show you something, right? I was watching the Eagles mic'd up from the Commanders game. Slay was mic'd up.
Shout out to Top Rock from Morehead State. OVC all day, baby.
Slay was mic'd up in that game against the Commanders, but there was a clip
when he was on the sideline.
There was a clip when Saquon was on the sideline, and he just came off from scoring a touchdown. His first touchdown. You know, after the Dallas Goedert catch and fumble. Yeah, that touchdown, right? I need you to break down this energy that we're feeling. I'm just going to let it play and just react once we're finished. I'm just going to let the clip play.
Third down and 3. They've got to get to the 20.
Oh, can you hear it?
Markus.
Yeah.
First down, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Markus.
First down, 10. First down, 10. First down, 10. The player, a Superman.
Hey, stay ready. You still got to go finish it. Hey, you got to go finish it. Let's go. Hey, listen, hey, we are so close. Yeah. So close. Hey, this score shouldn't be close. Yes. We get the ball back, execute, communicate, execute. We got to block this stuff. We're one away every single time.
So it was to me, when I watched that, it was something. There was something about that moment that really you're seeing these guys who dedicate their life to the craft, and you're seeing them in the heat of battle. You're seeing them in the heat of war. And that game was a slow burn. And you felt when Saquon scored that touchdown, something happened in his brain.
You hear what he said?
The way I never seen him react after scoring a touchdown like that in the Eagles uniform. I've seen him celebrate all the kind of stuff. There was something different about that touchdown. There was something different about that situation for him, at least. What do you think that was? Break down what you heard and how you digest that.
Did you hear what he said?
Oh, yeah.
Because I've said the same thing. We're one away. And what he means is we're one block away. Somebody hold that block for one more second. Get that. You got to get that made. We're one block away. And I've been in that situation. It was like, ooh, go back in the huddle like, bro, run the play again. Dude, you almost hold that block. I remember in high school, my coach calling my play twice in a row. And the second time, he told my homeboy to tell me, coach said, don't cut it back. Hit it straight up, 85 yards touchdown. Like stuff like that, you feed off of. And I'm not sure when the last time you've been to a game, but when you go into the link, energy is tangible.
Yeah.
Energy, when the Eagles come out the tunnel, that energy is tangible. Now, the one thing I noticed with Saquon, when he scored that touchdown, number one, he's in running back bliss because he was untouched. He was untouched. As a running back, chef's kiss. When nobody touches you, best feeling in the world. Especially when you go around the corner and beat everybody to the edge, or that cutback when you go up the middle. Nobody touches you. That is excellent.
Hold on, wait. Both of those touchdowns, he went untouched?
Untouched. Run it back and look at it.
Because I remember the first one, he didn't get touched. He ran right to the pylon. You're right, though.
Untouched.
Both of those touchdowns, he went untouched.
Spreading the defense out. That's what I mean. But check this out. When you watch that play, did you see what he did when he scored? He didn't want nobody to touch him. He didn't want nobody to touch him.
Oh, yes. You're right. No, you're right.
You see what I'm saying?
He was walking down the sideline. He was just
that's
walking.
When, here's what that's like.
Yeah. Help me understand that.
I relate it to baseball. You ever seen the pitcher with a no-hitter?
Yes.
What do? They sit on the end of the bench. The coach tells everybody, leave him alone. Don't talk to him. Don't touch him. Let him do what he's going to do. Don't bother him. And the pitcher will sit over there by himself. When it's time to go out on the mound, he'll take his 10 steps, jump over the first base, whatever his thing is, he does. Nobody bothers him. Nobody messes up that state that he's in. Because again, he's in the matrix, and you're in that place, and you don't want nobody to take you out of that place. That's why when he scored, He didn't stay in the end zone. He
At
kept
all.
moving. He didn't stop on the sideline. Nobody wanted to touch him.
He went right to his O-line.
Like,
He went right to his O-line.
They can't stop me. Get off me. They ain't ready for me. And you heard what he said. We won away. Every time we on the field, we won away. That's when you know he is in that zone, and just like he done went Super Saiyan, bro. And he's like, he is ready for it. He's ready to see and do anything.
Marcus,
That is tangible energy.
a guy like that playing at this level, I think he's beyond Super Saiyan. I don't know. You got to be, but Dragon Ball Super. This man he's beyond Super Saiyan. He's beyond Super Saiyan Blue, or Super Saiyan God. He's reached Ultra Instinct. He can't be touched.
He can't be touched.
He can't be touched.
And you know what the thing that people forget? He's a stranger. He ain't been here long enough.
He ain't been here long.
He's a stranger.
He ain't been here long.
But
oh man,
when you the type of guy that he is, when you put that type of energy, everybody knows it. They know he's genuine. They know he's not about no bullshit. They know he's going to give you 100% every time. And they know he's a team guy. He's the guy that's screaming to do the brotherly shove on the end zone. He should be leading the league in touchdowns this year. Stop playing. But he ain't bitching about it. You know why? Because he's had so many years in his life where he didn't win jack. And now he's on the precipice of doing just that. And I believe he's going to pass King Henry and be the Russian leader this year. He's going to pass King Henry.
He's slowing. I don't want to say slowing down, but he's that gap every week. That gap is dwindling. And to your point, by the end of the season, I think he will supplant King Henry. I want to transition to the quarterback. Right? I want to transition to Jalen Hurts. He has a tough task ahead of him as well, because the Rams, they have pressured opposing passers on 41.9% of dropbacks this season. That's the highest rate in the NFL. And their rookie edge rusher, Jared Verse. I
watched a lot of film on him this week.
He's a very talented young man. And they got this kid, they got this guy named Braden Fisk. Both, they both lead their team in pressures. So when you think about what Jalen Hurts does well, right? Being able to throw that deep ball, being able to get out of the pocket and get, and if you ask him, get freaky, right? Break down the task that Jalen Hurts faces, and what do you think the Rams could potentially do to try to offset him? How can Jalen Hurts, counter that? Just break down Jalen Hurts entering this game.
The only thing that Jalen Hurts can do is get rid of the ball quicker. It's not about countering. Jalen Hurts holds the ball for what, on average 3.26 seconds or something like that. That's the highest in the league.
Yeah,
that's the highest in the league. So there's nothing that's more of a question about what is Jordan Mailata going to do. Jordan Verse plays to our left like 68% of the time or something like that. So Jordan Mailata is going to get most of that work. So what do you do when you're talking about a rookie who gets pressures? What's his pressure rate? 30-something%?
For Jared Verse in particular?
Right. Jared Verse is, because I looked it up too.
I think he's top 5. I think he's top 5 in the league, or top 10 in pressure rate for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, he lines up on the right 65% of the time.
Okay, he generated 50 pressures this season, the most by any rookie through the first 11 weeks of a season since at least 2018, which was Nick Bosa.
Right.
Says here, Braden Fisk generated 28 pressures, the most among rookie defensive tackles. They got a lot of rookies on that D line.
Yeah, he's 22% pressure rate on the right side and only 13% on the left. So most of the work is going to be the Mailata side. So that's a question for Mailata. Mailata's only let 7%. He's got the 7th best in the league as far as letting in pressure. So that's going to be a good matchup. That's the matchup to watch.
Good on good.
Yeah, Jared Verse looks like he's not there yet, but he reminds me of Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, the sack totals aren't matching the pressures, but he's going to be all right.
But he's a rookie. You know what I mean? So, but I say that because when he's on our left, his right, he's up. He's 2-point stance. He's coming up. A lot of times when he is to our right, his left, he goes down to a 3. Now they mix that up on the left side, but I didn't see him going down to a 3-point stance on our left side often. I don't even think I ever saw that. But I only watched one game. I watched the game against the Vikings. The one tell I saw that was very interesting, that was the game where Darisaw got hurt. The Vikings started left tackle.
Yep.
Darisaw got hurt, remember, like 2 minutes before the halftime? Second half, Jared Verse had a game against a backup tackle.
But this ain't that.
I'm like, well,
this
hold
ain't
up.
that.
Exactly.
This ain't that.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. This is gonna be a quiet. This may be one of those games that's quiet for him. I'm sorry. This ain't one of those situations. Man, a lot of
you going up against one of the best in the league at Jordan Mailata, and then when you flip to the other side, you're going up against the best in the league in Lane Johnson. Not to mention, you still got Mekhi Becton at guard, and you got Landon Dickinson, who's been pretty much playing lights out, and with Cam Jurgens doing what he's doing in the middle, man, our offensive line is as advertised. So he going to have his work cut out for him. So but to your question about what Jalen can do, the only thing Jalen can do, and I guess this gets back to going to Kellen Moore, are we having any plays where he's not sitting back there for 3.5 seconds with the ball? Some of that is on him. Some of it isn't.
Yes.
So when I see when he's holding the ball for 3+ seconds, but I don't see nobody crossing the middle, I don't see no quick slants, or I don't see no 5-yard ins or outs, well, then that means your route tree is going mid to deep. So he's got to hold on to the ball because the routes aren't developing that fast. So that half of it that's on Jalen, half of it that is on Kellen Moore. So, but as far as what Jalen can do, just get rid of the ball. And I hope he starts running a little bit more. Just break out the pocket. If you don't see it, go.
Yeah, that's my thing, right? On those, on to your point, right? On those route concepts that are mid to deep. If you don't see nothing, I'd much rather you just get 8 yards, whatever. Just get out of there. Just get out of there. I understand he wants to drop back, be a quarterback, and just diagnose. I'm not mad at the intention, but at the same time, if you got a clear lane, brother, break their back. Break their back, man. So, yeah, I feel you on that. I want to stay on the rookie conversation, though. Jared Verse is having a spectacular season. He is definitely in the running for Defensive Rookie of the Year, but he has somebody who many believe is ahead of him, or at least on his heels, in Quinyon Mitchell, who's having a phenomenal season. Some people have even thrown Cooper DeJean in the conversation, but it's really been a Quinyon Mitchell, Jared Verse conversation. I've heard someone say this could be the Rookie Bowl, right? The Defensive Rookie of the Year Bowl. And
I think Mina Kimes said that.
Right, exactly. So, when you think about those two guys playing at a very high level for their class, do you think this could be one of those games where it can be, I don't want to say the lone deciding factor, but I'm of the mindset of whoever can pop off the screen more in this game will win the hearts of those voters in the end?
I don't necessarily agree with that because everybody's not watching our games. So we're kind of looking at it through emerald colored glasses because we Philly fans, we Eagles fans. But right now, they are the two best rookies playing right now. They are the two in the clubhouse right now for the lead. I would give Jared Verse a slight lead over Quinyon Mitchell only because Jared Verse has sacks. Quinyon Mitchell, how many picks does he have this year?
So you think if Quinyon can get at least 2 to 3 before the season's over, that can flip that narrative essentially.
Quinyon Mitchell right now should have 4 picks?
Yeah. If
he had at least 2 of those, I think he would be in the lead. But and I'm not taking him nothing because he is locking everybody down. The Quinyon thing is real. And by the way, everybody in the chat, is it Quinyon or is it Quintanamo? Which one is it?
Listen, people have been going back and forth about it. That's a conversation that I hate even getting into because everybody.
Which one is it?
Listen. My man, Laura Brunson coined Quintanamo. I don't care what nobody say.
Quintanamo Bay.
I'm rolling with that Quintanamo Bay. That sounded a little.
You like
better
it? I
than
love
Quintanamo Bay. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is going to come down to is the picks. He's had 4 opportunities where he should have had it in his hands and it just didn't manifest. Now you take the one where CJ Gardner-Johnson knocked it out of his hands. He was pissed about that. But Jared Verse is getting sacks. You got a tangible recording. And I know past breakups is as well, but you want the payoff.
Yeah.
You want the payoff. So in my opinion, he's got to get to at least 3.
Okay.
And if he doesn't get 3, then it goes to what we do in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So we'll see.
I ain't mad about that. I ain't mad. All right, let's begin to close the show out. Let's get to our bowl predictions, our keys to the game, and our score predictions. So we've broken this down top to bottom. Give me your final keys to the game for the Philadelphia Eagles if they want to win this game.
As usual, dominating the line of scrimmage. I think somebody has to get home and force Matthew Stafford out of the pocket because he's not the best runner in the world and just making him uncomfortable. I know he can throw on the run and on the move, but he would rather be in the pocket nice and comfy. So let's get him out of that spot. Jalen Carter's going to have another 2 sacks. That's my prediction. And you know what? This is going to be another Zach Bond game because Zach Bond can keep him from getting outside. I could see Vic Fangio's getting very clever with what he's doing with Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean, and it's working. Nakobe Dean, for all of the stuff people said early in camp and all of that kind of stuff, Nakobe Dean has not been bad in coverage, and that was the thing that people were worried about. So to me, that tells me that Nakobe has settled in and he knows where he's supposed to be. That's the thing that makes up whatever you might lack in speed or coverability or whatever.
Real quick, it's funny you say that. Real quick, it's funny you say that about Bond and Nakobe as far as pass coverage because as of right now, Zach Bond passer rating when targeted 73.4. Nakobe Dean passer rating when targeted 81.7. That's not bad for that's not bad for your linebackers. It's not that bad.
Right. Linebackers are who you're looking for to get the mismatch. So they're going to always get the bad end of the stick. You just need them to make some stops and some plays every now and then, and that's exactly what they're doing. And then you get the bonus points because they're always coming through on the blitz and they're getting sacks. They are causing confusion for the line of scrimmage, and that's what you need. So they're playing above board right now, and we already know what our defensive secondary is doing. So we're good on that front.
Okay, sounds good. Now let's get to our bowl predictions. This is the fun part of the show, right? So, is there anything in this game that you potentially see happening on the bold front, on the, just to be a little cheeky? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just break that. Just give me something spicy. Give me something spicy.
I'm gonna say it, and I don't want to say it.
Oh Lord,
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Jalen Hurts 300+ yards passing.
You're not the first person. LB said that Friday. He said that Friday.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I think it's one of those games. I say,
one of those games.
Because I just feel like the Eagles can really just do what they've normally been doing, right? But hey, I mean, I'm not against it. Hey, I like it. If you like it, I love it, right?
You said normally. Now normally I wouldn't say that. That's a bold prediction.
Right. That's exactly. That's very bold. And that's not saying he can't do it. It's just that's not really been their formula.
Yeah, but I think that's going to fall onto AJ Brown having a good game. Because if he throws for 300, that means AJ went off.
Got like 150.
Yeah, that means AJ went off. So
shout out to the guys. All right, my bold prediction. For some reason, my bold predictions usually fall on the defensive side. I'm going to say my bold prediction is Quinyon Mitchell gets his first interception of the game. Actually, no. My bold prediction is Quinyon Mitchell picks off Matthew Stafford twice.
I like that.
Quinyon Mitchell picks off Matthew Stafford twice because Stafford's a gunslinger. He's going to take some risk with that ball, and they're going to throw the ball a lot. So I say Quinyon Mitchell gets 2 picks in this game. And to make it even more spicy, Quinyon gets 2 picks, and Cooper DeJean gets a sack today. That's my prediction. That's my prediction for the rookies, for the young guys. All right. So
right.
now let's get to your the score prediction for you.
34-17 Eagles.
34-17.
Yep.
That's actually pretty much in line with my score. I think if I'm not mistaken, because listen, I talk so damn much on these airwaves, I forget what I say sometimes. When I was talking to LB, I think my score prediction was 34-17 or 31-17, something like that. I think it was 34-17. Maybe chat, you can remind me, but I think I said 34-17 as well in this game. So we're pretty much lockstep in that. I just feel like the Rams are going to have a hard time sustaining offense consistently and even scoring in the red zone. I just think the Eagles are like Saquon right on offense. I think this defense is in a flow state. They know who they are. They know where they're supposed to be. They trust each other unequivocally, which is why I'm really glad they didn't make a move at the deadline, because you can offset that. They know each other's tendencies. They know what signals mean when this guy does this or body language. Like they are quite literally in a flow state themselves. And I just believe, okay, cool. Thank you, Fitness Warrior. I appreciate it. 34-17. I didn't say Rams. Come on, man. You playing. I said Eagles. 34-17 Eagles. 34-17 Eagles.
And not for
34-17
nothing,
Eagles.
Jake Elliott gets back to normal.
Yeah. Yo, it's been rough for kickers for the past couple weeks, just in general.
Kickers
are struggling right now.
It was something in the water last week, dude. Something in the water. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Everybody was missing. Everybody was missing.
And we're talking like chip shots, like standard 40 yards. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's been crazy. It's been crazy.
So bad. I felt so bad for the Bears. They win against the Packers in Green Bay.
That pissed me off. I'm gonna be honest, because they should have won that game.
Dude,
I was genuinely disappointed.
As much as people that are talking down on Caleb Williams should be 6-4.
The Hail Mary.
The Hail Mary and the missed kick. They're 4-6.
See how easy it is to go from an above 500 record to a below 500 record? Listen, man, I feel like the Bears, that's a different conversation. Bottom line is, though, 34-17, we're lockstep in that. Your bold prediction is Jalen Hurts goes for over 300 yards passing. I like it. Mine is Quinyon Mitchell gets 2 picks and Cooper DeJean gets a sack in this game. So there you have it, you guys. There you have it, man. You guys know we love doing this. We love kicking it with y'all. We had over 200 people locked in today. It's been really dope. Make sure you guys smash that like button before you get out of here. You know what your job is. You know your responsibility as a consumer. That like button is currency. The content does not move without that like button being hit. So exercise your right as a consumer. Exercise your right as a viewer. You have power in this thing. Hit that like button and continue to support. Make sure you guys subscribe to Pro Fan Talk. Marcus does an amazing job breaking down the game. He does film study. He's giving you guys not only football talk on the field, but he's also giving you the industry side of the football talk, right? He's always talking about the business and things of that nature. Also gives you guys great breakdowns of the WNBA. Their season is going to be electric this year. More money's being funneled into that, but Marcus does an amazing job. Please go lock in. Again, subscribe to Pro Fan Talk. Coach Marcus does amazing work. Make sure you guys also subscribe to me at Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. You guys are getting passionate Eagles talk. You guys are getting my own version of analysis. You guys are going to get both sides of the coin. I'm going to give you guys the fan side, the player side, the organizational side. And at the end of the day, we're going to find that common ground, find that common thread, and find out where we all stand on things. So let's make sure you guys lock in.
Don't forget, go to the Hall of Fame and make sure everybody knows that Eric Allen should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir. Eric Allen.
Everybody knows Eric Allen.
Eagle. Legendary.
Number 21 should be in the Hall of Fame. Don't sleep.
Should have been in the Hall of Fame, man. And on that note, y'all, we appreciate y'all and we love y'all. Smash that like button. Fly Eagles fly. Hey, Marcus, kick that shit.
Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tony Marcus always standing by. Bringing that heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tony Marcus always standing by. Bringing the heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.